King of the Monsters 2 is a significant improvement over the first game. It took a fun formula of giant monsters fighting each other and made it a little bit more fun by giving the player more stuff to do. This game makes you work a little bit before you get to the boss characters so that you can beat them up. In the first game, you just picked one of 4 monsters, or if you were playing the arcade game, then you picked one of 6, and you had to fight 8 times. There weren't really any levels, the additional enemies weren't exactly there, and there was really only a few power-ups. The second game drastically improved on all of this. It is always nice to be surprised by a game's sequel. I was expecting more of what I got in the first game, just with a few more monsters. But yeah, this one is a lot better. It's kind of a hybrid of a beat-em-up and a fighting game. And it's really great. I love it an awful lot. I'll be playing the Super Nintendo version this time because the Genesis version, none of what I just mentioned matters. The second game picks up 3 years after the events of the first game. Only 3 monsters survived from the King of the Monsters massacre, and one of them wasn't in the console game, so yeah, we have a giant gorilla now who is a King Kong-inspired mech. So it's kind of Mechani Kong, if anyone actually watched that movie. So the game takes place in 1999, which means, first game took place in 96. Sure, why not? It's fine. In this game, aliens are attacking Earth, because, why the hell not? That happens in a lot of Godzilla movies, so sure, it can happen here. It feels like the plot from one of those, and yeah, it's a decent enough story. It tells you what you need to know and gets you started. There's more variety to the gameplay in King of the Monsters 2. Instead of just a one-on-one fight with another monster, you have a short level to walk through before you end up fighting the boss. It feels like the developers were trying to create a beat-em-up, but they didn't really accomplish it because you still have a lot of fighting game mechanics in this one. There are only 3 playable characters in this game. One of them was only in the arcade game from the first one, so we have 2 holdovers. We've got Atomic Guy and Super Gion, who are from the first King of the Monsters, and then we've got Cyberwoo from the arcade game that was just brought over to this one. It's kind of cool how they've gotten power-ups, because Cyberwoo is now mostly mechanical, and Super Gion has the word super added to his name, so clearly he's stronger than he was before. And also, Atomic Guy had his name changed as well. I don't know why they did it, but I kind of like it. Like they're trying to say, oh yeah, they're stronger because they went through the King of the Monsters massacre in between the first game and this one. Sure, why the hell not? All of the monsters were given new powers after the first game, so that kind of tracks with the name change. I think I'm trying to find the logic in something that's probably illogical, but whatever. There are only 7 stages in this game, but there are also 2 bonus stages. So if you manage to get to those, that's pretty fun. This makes the second game a little bit smaller than the first, but really not by much. It isn't really all that bad since it's coming from an arcade onto a console. The levels are also a little bit bigger, so that's pretty cool as well. Where the second game differs a lot from the first one is that each stage acts as a bit of a beat-em-up before you get to the boss that you need to beat up. So, you're going to be moving along, then the screen will lock until you've eliminated all the enemies on it, and then you can move on to the next one, just like in most of the beat-em-ups from this era. It is a welcome change from the first game. The controls aren't all that great, but they do get the job done. I don't really like the grapple system that they kept from the first game, but at least they got rid of the fact that you had to pin your opponent. That one was pretty dumb, I think. Each character has a list of special attacks that they can do. These can be done by using the L button along with, punches and kicks. This all can be found in the manual. Thankfully, that's available online, which is pretty great. The boss fights are somewhat easier. Not amazingly easier, but just a little bit easier. You don't need to pin your opponent, you just beat the crap out of them, and, they have a pretty big life bar, but it's not impossible to beat them. Because this game is closer to a beat 'em up than a tournament fighter, there are a bunch of power-ups in it. You get life power-ups, you can, get stronger. There's also a power down thing that you can pick up, and also there's also a bomb. There are parts of this game I really like, and then they start throwing shit at you, like all of a sudden, hey, here's a bomb that if you touch it hurts you, and here's something that's going to take your strength away. That part of it's a little stupid, and I'm not sure why they left it in there. I never like it when games throw that stuff at you. Overall, the gameplay is much better in this game. I do love that the developers included just shorter levels for you to kind of wander through instead of dropping you into a tournament fighting arena that they have. It's a lot better. It feels more like a monster movie than anything else. And yeah, it's still a really fun game to go through. I really like the way this game looks. It's a little bit better than the first game, which is to be expected. The monsters look great, the enemy bosses look very creative. It's just a cool looking game. It's bright, it's colorful. It's a lot of fun to just watch this game being played. The stages are awesome. You fight through a few cities just like you did on the first game, but instead of being in an arena, you can move around a lot more, just like in a beat 'em up. The cities get destroyed as you walk on the buildings. You can also blow up certain buildings to find the power-ups inside of them. Feels a little weird that they're there, but sure, why the hell not? Speaking of the enemies, most of them look alright. Some of them are just kind of incomprehensible weird things that you need to beat up, but still, they look pretty good. It gives you the impression that, the remaining humans don't want the aliens or the monsters here, to be honest, because you have, the fighter jets and the tanks and everything that are just attacking everything indiscriminately. I don't think the humans here really are on board with all the bullshit that's going on in this world, and I can't really blame them. The players' monsters and the stage bosses look great. Each are very well detailed, they're pretty creative. I really like how the bosses look in this. Several of them are fairly imaginative. It's kind of fun to see what they were inspired by, because I get the feeling that all of them were just really big fans of Godzilla, Gamera, and Ultraman, since there are a lot of just crazy monsters in this. And many of them look like, they could have a guy in a suit that's just controlling everything instead of, this being actual monsters fighting. That's just the impression that I got when I was watching it. King of the Monsters 2 is a bright and colorful game. It looks very good. I love the different boss monsters. It looks a lot better than the first game, which is a little hard to accomplish because I really like the first game too, but I think this one looks a little bit better. King of the Monsters 2 was much better than I was expecting it to be. I thought it was just going to be another, tournament fighter, but the changes that they made to it were awesome. It's so much closer to being a beat 'em up with giant monsters than anything else. It still has a few problems, but it's a great game. King of the Monsters 2 is bright, colorful, it's a cool concept, the controls are a lot better than the previous game. I do like a lot of the things that they did with it. After finishing this, I wish there was a third game in the series. It would have been great if it went on to just be like a full-on beat 'em up, but, whatever. That's me talking about a hypothetical game that SNK will most likely never make. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.